In the heart of the ancient world, where survival once depended solely on strength and instinct, a quiet revolution began to shape the destiny of humankind. It was not born from the hunt, nor from the mastery of fire, but from the spark of creation. The moment when human hands first molded nature, not just to survive, but to express, to build, and to leave a mark upon the earth. This was the dawn of artisans, the birth of craft, invention, and imagination. Long before cities rose or tools gleamed with polished perfection, there were simple hands that worked tirelessly with bone, stone, and wood. These were the first makers, people who saw more than what was before them. A sharp edge of flint was no longer just a weapon, it was a masterpiece in miniature, the result of countless experiments, failures, and quiet victories. These early artisans were not just laborers, they were visionaries sculpting the future, one strike of stone against stone at a time. As generations passed, the art of making became an inheritance. Children watched their elders shaping stones, carving wood, and sewing animal hides together with bone needles. Every movement carried meaning, every creation held purpose. In their eyes, crafting was more than survival, it was a dialogue with nature itself. The world around them became a vast workshop, full of materials waiting to be transformed. Imagine the rhythmic sound of hammering echoing across the valleys, the first percussion of civilization. The artisans worked with patience and precision, learning to read the secrets hidden inside every material. They discovered that a certain kind of stone fractured more smoothly, that the fibers of a plant could be twisted into strong rope, that fire could harden clay into vessels of endurance. With each discovery, humanity stepped further away from the chaos of the wild and closer to the realm of creation. In time, specialization began to take root. Within small tribes, certain individuals became known for their skills: the hunter who carved perfect spearheads, the woman who wove the tightest baskets, the man whose hands could shape the finest blades. Their work brought pride and value to the group. A crafted tool was not merely an object. It was a symbol of identity and knowledge passed down through generations. And with craft came beauty. Once the essential needs were met, human imagination dared to explore beyond utility. Patterns began to appear on hides, on pottery, on bones. A simple line became a message, a spiral, a story. These early decorations were not frivolous. They were the first whispers of art. Through them, humans discovered how to communicate, not just with words or gestures, but through creation itself. The artisan's world was one of experimentation and wonder. They learned that a blade's sharpness could be extended by polishing, that pigments from the earth could color their tools and garments. Over time, color and shape intertwined with meaning. A red ochre mark might signify courage. A carved pattern might protect the wearer in spirit. The boundary between function and faith blurred. Craft was not only about survival, it was about connection to something greater. As humans settled for longer periods in favorable regions, their crafts evolved. Clay vessels emerged for storing grains and water, a sign that people had begun to think beyond the day's meal. These containers were carefully shaped by hand, their surfaces smoothed and sometimes decorated before being hardened in fire. When one of these vessels survived generations, it carried with it a story, a testament to the maker's touch and the endurance of their skill. Slowly, trade began to grow around these crafted items. A beautifully made spearhead could be exchanged for food or shelter, a decorated bowl for favor or alliance. In the rhythm of trade, the artisan found recognition. Their work linked communities and allowed ideas to travel across vast distances. A carved design seen in one valley might reappear hundreds of miles away. slightly altered, carrying the fingerprint of distant kinship. Through craft, the human story became richer, more intertwined. The artisan's influence reached into every aspect of life, from the hunt to the hearth, from ceremony to everyday living. A tool shaped with care meant a safer hunt. A decorated vessel turned a meal into a ritual. Creation began to define humanity itself. But it was not without struggle. The life of an early artisan was hard and dangerous. Many spent long hours sharpening flint until their fingers bled, or inhaling dust from grinding stones. Fire, their ally, was also their peril. A single mistake could destroy hours or even days of labor. Yet they persisted. Their work was not just for themselves, but for the tribe, for the memory of their ancestors, for the promise of those yet to come. In their perseverance, something divine was born, the understanding that humans could shape the world, not only as it was, but as they dreamed it could be. Each hammer mark, each carved line, was a statement of willpower, of defiance against nature's indifference. The artisan was both creator and storyteller, giving form to ideas before language could properly name them. Across centuries, these makers laid the foundation for every art, every science, every structure that would follow. The first builders who raised shelters from stone and wood were heirs of these ancient hands. The potters, weavers, blacksmiths, and architects of future civilizations would all owe their beginnings to this moment, the dawn of artisans, when humanity first realized that creation was its true inheritance. At dusk, in ancient settlements, when the last light faded, artisans would gather around the fire. They spoke little, but their creations glowed in the dim light, a reflection of their skill and spirit. Around them, the younger members of the tribe would watch in silence, absorbing the unspoken knowledge that only patience, precision, and imagination could bring. The artisan's legacy endured not in words, but in things, objects that outlived their makers. A single carved figurine, buried under centuries of earth, would one day tell archaeologists about their dreams, their beliefs, their art. What they made defined who they were, and what we find defines who they remain to us. The dawn of artisans was more than a turning point. It was the awakening of human identity. Through craft, our ancestors transformed survival into creation, necessity into meaning. They began the long journey from instinct to inspiration, from the rawness of nature to the refinement of culture. Every tool we hold, every structure we build, every piece of art we admire, carries within it the echo of their first strike upon stone. So, when you look at your own hands, remember they're scarred, calloused, patient. The same spark that once guided them still lives within us. It is the drive to create, to build, to imagine. And that, more than anything else, is what made us human. If you enjoyed this journey through time, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Leave your like and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps us keep the flame of history alive.